Welcome to your favorite channel, where you'll learn everything you need to know to improve your health and lifestyle. Let's get started.
You know, when most of us think about a sauna, we probably think about relaxation, maybe sweating it out after a workout. But what if I told you that sitting in that hot room is actually one of the most powerful, science-backed things you can do for a longer, healthier life? Today, we're going to get into the incredible science of how deliberate heat exposure can literally transform your health.
And look, this isn't some new wellness trend, not at all. From traditional Finnish saunas to ancient Roman baths, people have understood the power of heat for centuries. The difference is, now, for the first time, science is showing us exactly why it's so good for us, right down to the nitty-gritty at the cellular level. So, let's get right to the big question. Can just sitting in a hot box really add years to your life? I mean, it sounds almost too good to be true, right? Well, a growing mountain of scientific evidence says a resounding yes. So let's dive into how this simple act makes your body more resilient, from your heart all the way to your brain cell. Okay, to really understand the long-term benefits, we've got to start with what happens the second you step into that heat. And what's so fascinating is that your body's response is surprisingly similar to a moderate cardio session. It's like a workout without the workout.
That's right, while you're just sitting there trying to relax, your body is actually working incredibly hard. Its number one job is to keep your core temperature stable. And to do that, it kicks off this whole internal process that gives your cardiovascular system a fantastic workout, but without any of the physical impact on your joints.
So here's the play-by-play. As your internal thermostat starts to go up, your heart starts pumping more blood out to the surface of your skin to try and cool you down. Now, to handle all that extra blood flow, your blood vessels have to get wider. That's a process called vasodilation. And the result of all this? Your cardiac output, that's the amount of blood your heart pumps every minute, can shoot up by as much as 70%. That's a serious workout for your heart.
All right, so that's the immediate effect. But how does this fake workout actually translate into long-term benefits? Well, this is where the data gets really exciting, showing these staggering protective effects for two of our most vital organs, the heart and the brain.
And the most powerful evidence we have comes from this absolute landmark study out of Finland. Researchers followed thousands of men for 2 decades, tracking their sauna habits and their health. And what they found? Well, it was nothing short of stunning.
Get this, the frequent sauna users, we're talking people who went 4 to 7 times a week, they saw their risk of dying from any cause drop by 40%. Let that sink in for a second. A 40% reduction in what we call all-cause mortality, just from sitting in a hot room consistently. And it gets even better when you look at heart health specifically. For that same group of frequent users, the risk of sudden cardiac death plummeted by an incredible 63%. That is a massive protective effect for your heart.
But the benefits don't just stop at the heart, and this is what blows my mind. That same group had a 66% lower risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. It's such a clear signal that what's good for our cardiovascular system is also incredibly good for our brain.
So how is all this happening? Well, beyond those headline numbers, regular sauna use is linked to this whole cascade of positive changes. We see improvements all over the place. Lower blood pressure, better cholesterol numbers, and a drop in systemic inflammation, which we know is a key driver of pretty much every chronic disease. And on top of all that, it actually boosts something called BDNF, which is like a miracle grow for your brain, helping you grow new neurons. Okay, so we've seen these incredible outcomes, but the real question is, why does it work? How does this mild, controlled stress from the heat actually make our bodies stronger and more resilient over time? Well, the answer lies in this really cool biological principle.
The secret is a beautiful concept called hormesis. You probably heard the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, hormesis is basically the science behind that. It's the same reason that the targeted stress from exercise or from intermittent fasting makes us healthier. The brief, intense heat of the sauna is a mild stressor that nudges your body just outside its comfort zone, and that triggers a really powerful adaptive response.
So your body doesn't see this heat as a major threat. Instead, it sees it as a signal to turn on and ramp up its internal defense systems. It starts this deep cellular cleaning process, it repairs existing damage, and it even activates what scientists call longevity genes, like one called FOXO3, which are absolutely critical for fighting off stress and living a long, healthy life. Now, let's zoom in even further. Let's go down to the microscopic level. and meet the real, unsung heroes of this whole story. Because when we say cellular repair, we're really talking about a specific crew of proteins that get activated by the heat.
So how does a little bit of heat actually go in and repair our cells and protect us from disease? The key mechanism happens inside every single one of your cells, and it all comes down to making sure your proteins, the building blocks of your body, are in good working order. And the key players here are called, appropriately enough, heat shock proteins, or HSPs for short. The best way to think of them is like the quality control managers and the emergency repair crew for your cells. When your body gets exposed to heat stress, it dramatically ramps up the production of these proteins to go in and protect everything. So what's on their job description? Well, they do a ton of essential maintenance. See, proteins need to be folded into very specific 3D shapes to do their jobs correctly. HSPs make sure new proteins get folded properly. They go in and fix and refold proteins that have been damaged by stress. And, this is huge, they prevent those damaged proteins from clumping together. That clumping is a hallmark of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. So by keeping your proteins in perfect working order, HSPs are absolutely fundamental to preventing disease and promoting a long, healthy life. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm sold. We understand the incredible why, from the cardiovascular benefits all the way down to cellular repair. So now let's get practical and talk about the how. What does the research actually say is the best way to use a sauna to get all these amazing effects? So, what does the ideal protocol look like? Well, if we go back to those landmark Finnish studies, they were using traditional dry saunas. They got the temperature up there between about 80 and 100 degrees Celsius, which is 176 to 212 Fahrenheit. They found the sweet spot for how long to stay in was about 15 to 20 minutes. But, and this is the most important part, the real key was frequency. The biggest benefits came to the people doing this 4 to 7 times per week. Consistency really is king.
Of course, we have to talk about safety, because that is paramount. The golden rules are really simple. You absolutely have to stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water before and after, and never ever mix alcohol with saunas. If you're new to this, just start slow. Do 5 or 10 minutes and see how you feel. And the most important rule of all, listen to your body. If you feel dizzy or unwell, get out immediately. And of course, if you have any underlying health conditions, it's always a good idea to check with your doctor first.
So when you pull it all together, we've seen how modern science is basically just validating this ancient practice. Sauna use mimics exercise, it protects our heart and our brain, and it triggers this deep cellular repair through these cool processes like hormesis and heat shock proteins. It is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful and accessible tools we have for living a longer, healthier life.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Science is just now catching up and explaining the profound wisdom behind this ancient practice. It really makes you wonder, what other timeless traditions and bits of ancient wisdom are out there just waiting for science to rediscover their secrets to a long and vibrant life?
Here are some tips to help you have a healthy and strong body and mind. Remember that we upload videos every day.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about how to biohack your health span for a longer, healthier life.
This quote really nails it. The goal isn't just more years, it's more good years, you know?
So this brings us to a crucial idea: the difference between your lifespan and your health span.
Get this, on average, we spend 20% of our lives in poor health. The goal is to shrink that. So the big question is, what can we actually do to build a longer, better health span?
We're going to break it down using this idea, the pyramid of longevity. Let's start from the bottom up.
All right, first up is the foundation. These are the absolute non-negotiables for a long and healthy life.
So you've got 5 pillars: nutrition, movement, sleep, stress, and oral health. Nailing these is step 1.
Okay, moving up the pyramid. Now we're talking tools, using science and tech to enhance those basics. And this is really what biohacking is all about, using data to take control of your own biology. Think about things like wearables, red light therapy, or even VR to really dial in your daily habits.
Then there are specific compounds, backed by data, that can literally support you on a cellular level.
Now for the very top of the pyramid, the scientific frontier. This is where things get really cutting edge. And it's all driven by this one huge question: is aging itself a disease we can actually treat? Scientists are looking at existing drugs, like GLP-1s and others, for their potential anti-aging effects. One key strategy? Using senolytics to clear out old zombie cells that actually drive the aging process.
Plus, new diagnostics can measure your biological age and find disease way before you'd ever feel it.
So, the real point here is how to put this all together for your own personalized journey.
Remember the pyramid. Master that foundation first. Then optimize with data. And then explore the frontier with an expert.
So the tools are here, the science exists. The only question left is, how are you going to use them?
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can bring you better content. See you tomorrow with a new video.